Yeah, he's grabbing one right now. Hey.
Very good. That's you record. Keep it on. Joe, we're going to give it all. Yeah. I just said.
Well, the hour has arrived, or the moment has arrived to begin the meeting. We're pretty cognizant and diligent about getting these meetings started on time so that we give you plenty of time to express your opinions and thoughts and so forth. Welcome to the PEIA listening tour. My name is Mitch Carmichael. I have currently the privilege and the honor of serving as the Senate President in West Virginia. And the task that we've been charged with is to come to various areas of the states and hear from you that are participants within the PEIA program. What in particular concerns you about the program, and what you in particular envision as solutions to the issues that confront the program. Well, what I want to say at the start, and we've been going around, this is probably about halfway through the 22 different meetings, and I'll say at the outset the common themes that we've heard from the other events. One is, and it probably is not as important here in Logan County as it is on the border counties of West Virginia, is the ability to use out-of-state providers. So we hear that quite frequently, particularly along the border counties. We also hear about the formulary changes as it relates to the prescriptions and so forth and your drug medications. And so maybe it gives you some comfort to know that those same things are being addressed at other venues, and we're taking that back to the task force. And then, frankly, just the customer service orientation from the PEIA. When you call in, you have questions and concerns and so forth, and maybe not getting the responses that you need in a timely manner and so forth. And so we've heard those things. I've been to about 6 of these, and others have probably been to more. I've heard that common theme. So we're confronted with a national healthcare rising, escalating environment, right? And we're trying to solve healthcare issues within West Virginia specifically. So we can't control federal policy. We can control what we do in the state of West Virginia. But we are subject to the same escalating costs that occur throughout the nation. So we appreciate your participation in this, and absolutely look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. I'm going to pass the microphone up and down the line here so that each one of us can introduce ourselves, and then we'll begin the program.
My name is Perry Bryant. I'm retired from West Virginia for Affordable Health Care. It's a non-profit organization working on systemic health issues.
Hi, I'm Helen Matheny. I work for WVU Health Sciences, and I was appointed to the task force, and I just want to thank each of you for coming out this evening and voicing your concerns. And I encourage you to stay involved as we go through this process. And I want to thank you for what you do each and every day to make West Virginia better.
Good evening. I'm Joe White, Executive Director of the West Virginia School Service Personnel Association. And I would like to ask with my colleagues in the task force for a moment of personal privilege, because I see a lot of faces out there that are very familiar to me. And I would like to tell my colleagues here tonight in this task force that this is my home county. I live here. I'm a resident here. I'm a product of the Logan County school system. And I was an employee for many years of the Logan County school system. I want to brag just for a minute. We here still stop our cars when one of our neighbors' funerals go down the road. We still send food to our neighbors when their family has passed. It's nothing to have 5 or 6 people on the porch bringing food in to that family. We still feed our neighbors when our neighbors are hungry. One thing I can say about our home is we're all family. I would also like to tell my colleagues here tonight, you are looking in the faces of folks whose relatives provided the coal to fuel America, to build this nation's infrastructure. My colleagues here tonight, you are looking into the eyes of the finest people in the world. Southern West Virginia at its best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Amen. As we begin this evening's proceedings, when I call your name, if you'd please come up and stand at the podium and speak into the microphone so everyone can hear you. And also I want to mention that all of our meetings are live streamed on the internet, so there's a camera so that your colleagues can see you and can hear you if you would stand there at the podium, please. And the other thing I want to make sure everyone knows is we want to make sure everyone feels as if they have had a chance to be heard. And so we've got a lot of folks here tonight, but please, we want to make sure that we hear your concerns and suggestions. Our first speaker tonight is Mark Dean.
Good evening. My name is Delegate Mark Dean. I represent portions of Mingo, McDowell, and Wyoming counties. I'm currently a principal in Mingo County and have been an educator for the past 15 years. As one of the few active educators in the legislature, I tried very hard to be a member of this task force. I feel my input would have been very valuable. I could go on and on about ideas I think will be potential solutions and the problems I have faced myself dealing with PEIA. But in the interest of time, I won't do that here. If you'd like to hear from someone who sees issues from both angles, please let me know. I'd love to meet with any of you to discuss my thoughts at any time. I'll keep my comments brief this evening. I just want to remind you that the work stoppage was not about a pay raise. It began because of the outrage that has been brewing for a while now over the skyrocketing costs of diminishing services provided by PEIA. In my decade and a half in the school system, I've seen this firsthand. I hope that every time you meet, it's with a certain sense of urgency. Because without long-term solutions, I'm not sure anything was really gained. While we are all grateful for the 5% pay raise, that money will never be seen if our insurance costs continue to rise. Promises have been made for many years to myself and my fellow educators that we will continue to have affordable, accessible health care to offset our relatively stagnant pay. I hope this task force finds meaningful solutions, or again, I'm not sure anything was accomplished by my fellow teachers or the legislature during the events that took place during our most recent legislative session. Again, if I can be of any assistance, please let me know. Thank you for listening to me and the others who have shown up to address this panel and for your thoughtful consideration as you make these difficult decisions in the months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Next is Charlotte, and I can't read your last name. It starts with a B from Maitland. Great. Blankenship. Thank you.
I'm Charlotte Blankenship. I'm not a teacher, but I do work for the state of West Virginia. And you mentioned, Mr. Carmichael, about Logan not maybe needing to be on board at the state. Well, I'm from Mingo. My nearest hospital for trauma is Pikeville. I mean, it's the closest for me. PEIA does not want to pay. They will not pay back of it. I can go to Charleston, which is farther away, and my husband has a pacemaker defibrillator, which is like pulling teeth to get from PEIA. they don't want to pay, and they don't want to reimburse, they don't want to do anything for us on those bordering states. We need help. We need help, if not with PEIA, get rid of PEIA, bring in another insurance company, do something that we can afford, because that's basically why half of us work is for insurance retirement. That's why you do. And we have to have something to retire. Otherwise, I will have to work till I'm 100. I mean, to pay for my insurance, because my husband's got to have insurance. He did retire. He retired from the account. But we need help.
Thank you. And just it may bring you some comfort to know that this is probably the primary issue about the cross-border utilization of healthcare providers. We've heard that, over and over and over. I represent a border county as well, so I know it's a great big issue, and I appreciate you conveying it.
Brandon Wolford.
Thank you, and first of all, I had a coworker who wanted me to ask if the combined income would still be considered in the future. Is that still on the table or not? When determining premiums?
Yeah, the PEIA Finance Board would put those proposals together. However, the legislature took the action of passing a resolution urging them not to do it. So total family income, it would be a very long, hard road to get the legislature would step in and stop it. So I don't see that occurring.
Okay, we had some strong opposition to that. I'm the president of the Logan County Education Association, and that is one huge factor that has been brought up over and over. Now, personally, I live, as Ms. Blankenship said, right on the border of Logan County, but I'm right there in Pike County. Closest hospital to me is Pike. Last year, I had a kidney stone. Very minor procedure. I went over there just to have a check. Before I got to the hospital, I had already passed it. So all they did was scan, and they gave me a prescription. I get an $1,800 bill for an emergency room visit that didn't last any more than 2 to 3 hours because PEI didn't pay for it. So that is a major issue with me. What I would suggest is that you would increase the severance tax on natural gas 5% to 7.5%. I know you're completely against that. I mean, you've had all of these corporations who were contributing to your campaign. It's all out there, everybody knows it, with the majority of your party. So I understand why you're not. Enjoy the remaining time of your tenure, by the way. Another thing that we did was, in 2007, we reduced the corporate tax from 9% down to 6.5% with the intentions of bringing in more businesses. Where are the new businesses? We still look like we're in a depression here in West Virginia. Take that corporate tax, raise it back up. And last but not least, I have a couple questions for you, Mr. Farmer.
I've got a couple for you.
Absolutely. You were completely just disrespectful to all of us, and I don't think there's a person in this room or anyone in this state that I've spoken to who is glad that you're even on this. You were disrespectful to us. When you go on TV, you get on TV and you say, well, these teachers are depriving these students of the one meal that they get a day that's decent. But what I want to ask you is, from the beginning of June until the middle or end of August, when we're out of school, how many children have you fed? Why was that an issue? We were out for 8 days, but you want to get on there and try to pit the public against us because we're out for 8 days, but yet how many are you feeding on the weekends from Friday to Sunday or during that 3-month period that we are off? How many do you feed? You use that against us, so now I'm asking you. if that was such an important thing. By the way, we also had our food drives here locally where we fed them anyway because of your remarks to show that we weren't like that. We care about our students.
You just said because of my remarks you fed.
Uh-huh.
That's what you said.
Uh-huh.
So I would think that the people in this room would have fed them regardless of their remarks.
Exactly. But you made the remark that we were depriving our students. So therefore, we think that Mr. Dan here would have been a good fit for your place. Why are you here? Are you here to sabotage? Because you certainly weren't there to help us. You fought us tooth and nail, and you talked about us. You talked about how disrespectful we were, and you smirked and you laughed in our faces. So I speak on behalf of my union, and probably behalf of everybody in here. It was a complete disgrace and dishonor that you even accepted the position, and I want to know why you accepted it, because you did. From what we all see, you did not have our best interest at heart.
Well, I appreciate your perspective, and I'll take your comments to heart, and as I always do, I'm respectful of your comments. And what I will say, I'll point out a couple of inconsistencies in your remarks, is that in regard to gas severance tax, probably you guys voted for it as well. We voted, the state senate, to increase the gas severance tax and tier it to the price of the commodity.
How many
the
years
gas.
ago was that?
2.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
saying it
See?
needs, if you want to fully fund PEIA.
Well, no, I'm just pointing out that you were wrong about that comment. So,
How am I wrong about that?
because I voted, I have a record of voting for it. So,
I am talking-
I don't. You can criticize me all you want, but just get the facts straight.
I'm talking about this time. I'm not talking about 2 years ago. I'm talking about now. You were completely opposed to any kind of increase.
Now, listen, I'm on record. I have a voting record of increasing the severance tax.
When was
So,
the last time you did it?
in this legislative session, in this 73rd legislature, I voted to increase the severance tax on gas.
What year was that? This year? 2018?
2017.
I'm talking about the PEIA.
Okay, I'm
We
saying.
need a permanent fix. That's not making an
Well, I'm just
untrue
saying,
statement.
I appreciate your comments, but in that respect, that's inconsistent with the facts. So, and then with regard to solutions that we potentially offered, I continue to be on record. I say it publicly, there's the TV. I'll continue to vote for a gas severance tax increase that's tiered to the price of the commodity. I'm already on record for doing it. So I voted for tax on tobacco products and dedicated the money to PEIA. We provided in this legislative session the largest pay increase in state history for teachers and school service personnel, and didn't increase taxes.
Yeah, but that was only because of the pressure we put on you. It wasn't out of the goodness of your heart. You stood against us the entire time. You were disrespectful,
Right.
and there is no one in this room or in this state that wants you to be there. We would ask that you resign.
Well-
Enjoy the rest of your time.
All right, thank you, sir.
I'm having a little difficulty reading this one. Ashley, starts with a B. Benito, yeah. Sorry.
Hello, I'm Ashley Benito. I have been a teacher. This is my 19th year teaching. I've taught Spanish. I'm certified to teach middle school and high school. I can also teach math. And one of my colleagues is coming in the room right now. She's also another Ashley. What's important to me is that if my parents get sick, I need to commercial. Because we are. I want them to have the best care that they can have. And not only that, but I want to be able to pay my bills. I want to be able to have, good health care. And PEIA used to be fully funded. It used to be a wonderful incentive for teachers to go into that field. We have a huge deprivation of desperate needed teachers. We are in desperate need of teachers, and the legislature likes to make laws about everything regarding education, and we do the best that we can as teachers to follow those laws. Not every single one of them are easy to deal with, and sometimes we feel like we're getting our foot shot off, just like everything else. I think that with our insurance, that is the biggest issue. Pay would be nice. We would like to be able to have a living wage, but I also think, and I might not be popular for this, but other states are legalizing marijuana. Now, I do not advocate that if any teenagers are in here, but however, we have a lot of mountains and a lot of strip mines that are devoting things to helping our economy when they go out, and that's something that we could look into taxing. We could build up that department, the severance tax. Yes, I think that's a great idea. But I also think that the corporate tax, everything else, it's all about PEIA. We want a living wage. We'd like to be competitive. We'd like to see more certified teachers in the classrooms. And it's getting almost impossible to find teachers. And I would like to be an administrator someday, and I would like to see wonderful teachers in my classrooms. And like you said, Mr. Wright, I love this county, but I'm going to have to leave this county because I can make more money in another county. But this is my home, and I love this place, and I love the people in it. But my parents are probably in their elderly age, sorry, Dan, and they're having trouble, really struggling to have to go to the doctor 2 or 3 times a week. My mother needs a liver transplant. My dad is in stage 4 kidney failure. And their medications are outrageous. PEIA and the insurance companies, they want to change their mother's on a pump. And they made her change everything over. And the pump does what's wrong with it. But this one company gets the monopoly on it. That's not fair, okay? And it's the little things like that that really perturb us and upset us, and we feel like we're defeated a lot. And that's a major issue, is that most of the time, it has to do with those little perks. People say teachers get their summers off. We do not get our summers off, okay? And, the pay, I have my master's plus 60. I'm this close to getting my doctorate. And people that have that degree, they're making cuckoo bucks, and I'm making barely poverty level. And that's not fair. Now, did I go into the educational field because I want to get rich? No, but I did expect to be able to eat food for dinner. So that's another issue. But it is not about the money, although our teachers in Logan County, we were one of the first to go on strike with Mingo County, and we were ready. And we'll do it again if we have to.
Thank you, Ashley. Kathy Thompson, would you like to speak?
Yes. And not the teachers, we do it for the kids. Our kids, and we want to be able to take care of them. And our insurance is a big problem. And I don't know for sure, I don't really know all the legality and stuff about it, but I had heard that if we had more people with PEIA, the more people we get, the less your premiums can be. Why can't something like combine Medicaid with us and at least get us the same coverage that the Medicare people gets? They don't pay anything. Why can't we all have the same thing? We work and we're not complaining, but, you know, they get better coverage than we do, and they sit home and draw a check.
Amen.
That's not fair. You know, I don't know where the money's gonna come from, but if you can lower it down by having more people, you know, that could certainly help. And, you know, there's other ways, I'm sure, taxes you could raise and stuff if it's just looked into right, but, the main thing is, I think, that we deserve 100% coverage on PEIA.
On expanding PEIA coverage, you need to be careful about making PEIA the coverage of last resort. What happens is you get very sick people in and not getting young, healthy people in. So expanding it's a great idea, but you want to expand it to the right people. If you just expand it and make PEIA, like I said, the insurer of last resort, you're likely to get what they call adverse selection. It will drive up premiums for everybody. PEIA is a large enough insurance company, they ought to get very good discounts. They should get the best discounts out there. Nobody else represents 220,000 people. That's how many people are covered by PEIA. We ought to be getting a much better discount.
We sure should be. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Our next speaker is Teresa Klein.
Hi, I'm Teresa Klein, working in Logan County. I just have a few things to say. I'd like to thank you for the time that you put into the task force, the work that you've done. Friday helped us complete the problems that we're experiencing. But one of my major concerns is with no coverage out of state. My daughter does not live in West Virginia. A lot of us probably have kids in college out of state. We have to fill out a letter. I had to call PEIA and ask for a letter so I can ask permission for my daughter to be covered by the insurance that I pay for it. So I think that's a problem. Another is that my husband requires a reusable inhaler that is not covered by PEIA. There is no generic form for it, so therefore he doesn't get it at all. And then as far as funding, we do need a permanent funding source. We're in trouble. It's obvious that we're in trouble. Otherwise we wouldn't use it. And as far as taxes, we talk about taxes all the time. I would like to please ask, don't tax the citizens of the state of West Virginia. They have it hard enough already. The corporations, the businesses can afford this much better than the average citizen.
Teresa, I have a question. Can you elaborate, please, why they won't cover the inhaler?
Because it's not on their list. It's a brand name, but there is no generic for it, so they won't pay for it, period.
They have I work at a pharmacy, part-time, and they have a recommended list of medicine that they will cover. And every July the 1st, when their deductibles start over, it changes. So when it's time for people to get their medicine filled, they're like, well, we can't fill that anymore because it's not on the list. So we have to pull everything up to find out what's covered now, what's not. So it's a struggle. And sometimes it's the very things that, platelets, things for people with heart problems that have to have. Okay. They'll change it.
Thank you. We've heard that in other medications, heard high blood pressure, heart disease, and other things like that. But thank you.
This is for a nasal spray that I have.
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying. Pretty basic need. Thank you, Teresa. Walker, Klein. I should have asked you about the inhaler first.
Same shirt. Yeah. Well, that's all. My name is Walt Klein. I'm a teacher in Mingo County. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for coming to listen to our concerns. I know you've been on a tour of the state for a while. As far as issues, I wanted to address what I feel is the solution. I did a lot of research on natural gas walk out just to be informed and try to educate myself a little. Mr. Cartwright, you mentioned about not tiering the price of the commodity as far as natural gas. I have a better solution. Back in 2005, workers' comp was in trouble. And they decided that they would do a wellhead tax. They did a wellhead tax. Instead of tying it to the commodity, which basically means the price goes up, we get a little more money. The price goes down, we get a little less. But with workers' comp, what they did, they took 4.7 cents per 1,000 cubic feet at the wellhead. And, you know, when I look back, I went all the way back to 2007, I won't take it back that far. 2013, less than a nickel produced $27 million for workers' comp. 2014, it produced $42 million. 2015 produced $57 million. 2016 produced $62 million. As the production increased, that nickel turned into quite a bit of money. To me, it would make more sense to tie it to the wellhead instead of tiering it to the commodity price. That way we know what we're going to get. We can depend on more funding, a more direct stream of funding, more consistent, I should say. You know, and I have this little map. It shows the Shell gas line, or where the gas is at. It's in the majority of Pennsylvania, majority of Virginia, part of Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama. But it's all over the state of West Virginia, border to border. They're going to come get it. You know, we got to get gas. We're going to pay whatever they want for a barrel of oil, convert it into gas. So, you know, let's stand up to these gas companies. Let's make them pay for our insurance. Don't let them leave us like targets. That's all I ask. I'm not here to complain. I'm just saying that's my solution from my research. And I wish you would take that back and consider a wellhead tax, because if people can get workers' comp out of trouble, it can take care of PEIA for all of us.
It won't happen until this House majority or minority.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Anna Nelson.
Is that a maybe, yes or no?
It's a maybe.
Hey, my name is Anthony Nelson. I'm a driver's ed teacher at PEIA. Appreciate y'all coming here once again to WSC. First want to say I appreciate what you have tried to do. I understand there's a lot of give and take and all that. I understand that. My biggest concern for me is probably when it comes to my family. Is I got two little girls, 3 and 1, and we know the continued increasing price of healthcare. You know, if we have just one thing, I hate talking about this. Give me a bunch of kids, I'm good. If we don't, not just a sustainable source, but my worry is that where that increase keeps coming, it's just going to get worse, worse, and worse, and worse. Why haven't we explored to match that continuing increase? Because that's one thing I haven't heard much about. And that's a concern I have, is what's going to keep matching that? Because after a point, even if we do a severance tax on gas, that's going to run out at that point. It's going to, get even, then we're going to go back in negative. What other, and it's more of a question, what other avenues have we explored for beyond the now? And have there been any?
Thank you for the question. It's there's been lots of avenues to explore, because somehow we have to bend the cost curve on this. Because you're right, there is continually escalating PEIA expense, healthcare expense of about $30 to $40 million a year if you don't do anything. It just goes up $30 or $40 million a year. What the legislature did this year is put $30 million in the program to stabilize the rates for another year, so there's no increase. But we at some point, there's not enough money. You know, when it's going up $30, $40 million a year, we have to bend this cost curve to bring down this escalating inflation in medical costs, and everybody's confronted. And so we look, I've heard a suggestion here tonight to raise the corporate income tax by 50% in West Virginia, which would bring in $50 million probably, $50 million. So that takes care of it for a year. And so you raise the severance tax on natural gas, say you double it, that's $100 million. So you can see that there is just this diminishing return. So we have to find ways to bend this cost curve down to where we get better discounts and things. And but those efforts are ongoing. So,
Is it possible to end our laws to where we don't have to have PEI, allow our local boards to find their own insurances?
Actually, it's a good question because other states do that.
See, it's just like monopoly, we're forced to do this.
Well, actually, so his question is, can you use, is it possible to get out of PEIA and each county provide their own insurance program, essentially? And they do that in some states. Some states do that. And it's certainly one of the options that will be on the table. But, and be discussed. I think, as Perry alluded to, though, 230,000 insured people within West Virginia. That's 1 in 9 West Virginians is on PEIA. So it's a big buying pool that you should be able to drive the cost down with, but you do have to.
Just in the past, I retired also from WBA, and I go to NEA conferences and talk about PEIA, and we were the people all across the country wanted to have that kind of purchasing power that we have at PEIA, because they were all bargaining at the local level, and they were really struggling. And if you took PEIA and you broke it up, you get 55 counties, and they went to Blue Cross Blue Shields, you would double the cost of the program. You just wouldn't be able to get the same kind of price. You just run into an enormous amount of problems. You get better consumer service. I think Highmark does a lot better job than PEIA does. They can't match the prices that we have for the purchasing power.
But if this continues,
excuse me, sir,
it'll be just as bad.
Would you be willing to stand at the podium so the camera can catch your remarks? Thank you.
I understand that, but if we continue in the direction that we're going, and everyone's saying, well, this is only going to do it for 1 year, and this is only going to do it for 2 years, and this is only going to do it for 3 years, we're eventually going to get to that point anyway.
That's right. We have a heavy lift to do. I've got some ideas. It used to be that every time the legislature wanted to change benefits in PEIA, they had passed a statute to do that. They got tired of debating what the deductible ought to be on the House and Senate floors, and so they delegated it to the PEI Finance Board to do that. And they kind of severed their responsibility to look at an overall compensation package. And I think we need to get back to a middle ground where the legislature would review, either adopt or modify the Finance Board's recommendations. But they need to be more intimately involved in setting an overall compensation package for their employees.
So is it possible that the PEIA board will be dissolved and will go back?
Well, I think they play an important role, particularly going out and listening to people. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield doesn't listen to people. They set their premiums and they go on about it, and you can take it or leave it. PEI Finance Board, for all its faults, at least it gets out and allows for public participation, and they can develop some expertise I think they can develop programs, but then I think it is incumbent upon the legislature to consider that package and either approve it or modify it or reject it. They need to be involved in this process.
So that they're not just giving us what we're going by and it's automatically a law without going through, which is the way it was in the past, correct? Like, whenever they made
That's
those.
not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that there's some middle ground. It used to be they set every benefit for it, and now they've delegated to the finance board. And I think utilizing the finance board to bring recommendations to the legislature that they can either modify or accept would get them more involved in the PEIA, which I think we need to make this work.
Well, I mean, I inherited this issue, so, but I can understand the reason why a legislature may want to, part-time legislature, 60-day legislature, are not professionals in managing a healthcare delivery system like the insurance industry and the healthcare providers and so forth. So it's very difficult to determine what a deductible should be as a part-time legislator kind of thing. But I agree with Perry in that we can certainly, and we do, beginning to take a more active role at events like this and so forth. So, but I guess the genesis of your question there was, would we be better off on a county level basis than as a group purchasing power? And certainly be considered, but I think your comment's probably well taken that the group of 230,000 strong, 1 in 9 West Virginia is a powerful force.
So what type of insurance coverage do you have, Mr. Chairman? Or is it provided through the Senate or?
No, actually, it's a great question because every legislator has an opportunity to buy into the PEIA program at full cost, at 100% cost of the system, which is about $14,000 a year. And that's what it would cost me to join that program. So I work for a different healthcare provider now, I work for a different internet system provider. I'm in the private sector, but my healthcare is more than that. It's more than that, but I don't want to, be accused of using state, benefit in my role. So I don't take it. There are many legislators that do. They feel it's a better program than what they could get in the private sector. But it costs about, and I'm, within $1,000 of $14,000 a year if we were to buy into. Is that right? Yeah.
Okay, so you guys don't benefit from your positions as far as healthcare whatsoever?
Well, what I'm saying is, he's asking, do we benefit in our positions as healthcare? I don't know. Maybe some of you all take PEIA. I don't.
I'm VA.
Yeah, you're VA. You are a healthcare provider, huh? And others. But I know some of my colleagues buy into the system, but it is at full cost.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's no extra benefits there as far as
No. Thank you.
I wanted to circle back. Anthony, thank you for your comments. We appreciate your input. Terry Soltis?
That's better than I'm getting someone.
Sorry.
Hello, my name is Terry Soltis. I teach in Mingo County. I'd like to welcome you guys also for being here. And I've had the opportunity to sit with Mr. Carmichael in his office once during the session. He was very nice to us. A couple of stories that I have. Like 3 years ago, I was in a car accident. Okay, and a decision that was not left to me but to my doctor. It turns out that I had to be life flighted to Charleston. We later find that that wasn't necessary. Could have been driven. But I was stuck with a $50,000 bill. Now, that's more than I make in a year. And PEIA, when we went to them about this, they were like, sorry. And I ended up having to go the route of getting a lawyer to try to figure out how I'm supposed to be able to bill that is larger than my annual income. And I don't blame you for that. That's clearly on your fault. But that is something that does happen. A doctor made a decision. I had to live by it. It was a $50,000 decision. So I would like to see if there would be a way to address that, if there's something that can be done to, whether my wife was not given a choice, nobody was given a choice to accept this bill. You know, so that's one thing. About 3 years ago, and I still have that hanging over my head. I hired a lawyer, and we debated, and we got it pushed back, but technically it's still never been paid. It hurted me. Okay. I know that there's a lot of talk about, Go 365 with a hot luncheon issue and health tomorrows and all that stuff. You know, I'm currently in Weight Watchers. I've lost about 80 pounds. Now, I have a lot more to go. A lot more. These are not that kid-friendly chairs. Okay. So, is there a way, I mean, because I know a lot of people do Weight Watchers and other public systems and things like that, that we could tie that in. Because I know when I go to fill out my healthy tomorrows, there's no check the Weight Watchers box here. It just goes, your waist is still too big and your blood pressure is still too high. But for a year I've been actively working on it, I can lose so fast. You know, and I'm paying for that myself. So is there a way to help tie, there's Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and all these systems that can be folded in to where at least, PEIA can go, we know you're not where you're supposed to be, but we see that you're clearly trending to something that we want you to be. Okay? And the last thing I'd like to bring up, and I know a lot of border counties talk about losing jobs and how hard it is to fill jobs, and I know this is going to affect me personally. We had a required job at our high school. Our teacher is going to Ohio to accept another job, and she's going to make, I think, roughly $15,000 a year more. Now, I'm not asking you to give me a $10,000 pay raise or anything like that, but we are having a significant time trying to fill that position. We're in very southern West Virginia. It's hard to get people to want to come down there. So the collection of PEIA and all of those factors is going to hurt that program. This is a program that the school's only 7 years old, but she has built it up. It is something where she has been performance at the state level constantly. She's building a name up for this program, and we could potentially see that go away. And that's something that drastically hurts our children because it's hard to get something there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Terry. Good points. Tina Goodman? Has everyone who wants to speak, did you sign up? If you didn't? Yeah. Well, you'll go after Tina.
I want to try to reward to this. When I first started working, I started back in 1987 at our local mental health agency. I spent 15 years there. And it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. I was young. I was actually healthy, so I never hardly used it. I paid my premium. And it went all about my happy way. I had 2 of my 3 children while I was there. Then I got a condition that is called Breast-Gout syndrome. And actually, I guess I was kind of naive because I thought everybody's arms went numb when they stuck them up in the air and changed the light on, but apparently that's not normal. I found out that I had this condition when my arm swelled up, and through finally going to a physician, I found out that I had 100% occlusion, blood clot, in my chest. work. My husband worked for the county. He was a deputy and a correctional officer for 20 years for Logan County. So, of course, I quit and we were on his PEIA. PEIA is the only insurance coverage that I have ever known. I went to probably 7 specialists trying to get somebody to tell me if I was going to croak or if I was going to survive. Till finally I went into one very bad bedside-mannered doctor, but who finally looked me in the eyes and said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "I don't know, they told me to come to you for another opinion." And he said that my clot had been there 6 months at least then. And he told me that if it was going to move, it would have moved in the first 2 weeks to go home and be all right. And I said, okay. And I never went to a doctor again. The problem with that is the pain and the swelling was still there. Nobody offered me any solutions other than pain medication. If you've ever met me on pain medication, I'm not a nice person. My family will tell you that after the 7th day, I'm an evil human. So that's not a good path for me. So I did research, I got on the internet, I found chat rooms, I finally found treatment that other people in other areas they were getting to help with this. And then I found out that my lovely PEIA that so far I had only used for childbirth, which is a pretty good coverage there, but would only pay for 20 visits to the chiropractor and massage therapist in a year. In order for me to actually walk around and not be in pain, I really need to go every 2 weeks. But I can't afford it, especially not now that it's changed. My son had to have an emergency appendectomy. It was no big deal, it's fine. But November of 2016, we've gone along. I've not thought twice about ever taking my children to the doctor. 2016, my husband has a stroke. Much like you. They didn't ask me where I wanted to send him. They told me. They're sending him to Pikeville. They think he's had a stroke. I didn't give a shit if it was out of state. I wanted my husband to live. So, we packed up in the car and we went to Pikeville. He was there, I don't know how long, to be honest with you, because I slept on the floor, I had no clue. But he's okay now. He's extremely hard-headed. He was determined. I don't open the bills for Pikeville anymore because I probably owe $15, $16, $17. I don't quit looking. I don't care if they call. I can't do anything about it. I'm a school teacher. My husband is a disabled sheriff's deputy. His back's done. The state and county took what they did for him. Fast forward to April of last year. I get words that no mother ever wants to hear. My son has stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. This is a month before he starts to graduate. Now, CMC Children's Oncology Group, it's actually technically WVU pediatrics, have been absolutely wonderful. Let me tell you what PEIA has done. Now, he's not been turned down for any services, but he had a power cord inserted and a bone marrow aspiration done on the same day. the doctor explained to us that she would never do a bone marrow aspiration on someone who was awake, because no matter how much they try to numb it, they can't. But the only way to get the anesthesia paid for was to piggyback on the procedure. My son actually went through a bone marrow aspiration, a port insertion, and a breathing baseline all in the same day. She put him in the hospital for his first chemo treatment, which, by the way, was the day after graduation. He spent 3 days in the hospital. I don't know what he did with chemo, but the idea is to kill off the bad stuff. In killing off the bad stuff, it also puts you at high risk for infection. So common sense would tell you that my 17-year-old child needed to be put in a private room while this is going on. PEIA refused to pay for the private room, even though it was for him to receive chemo. I didn't know this until the beginning. So, the rest of it, and she does that because I don't know how many of you people have known anyone who's gone through chemo, but for some people, that medication is extremely hard on them. They throw up, they can't hold their head up, they're very sick. Her explanation to us was that she likes to do at least the first round of chemo inpatient for them so that she can monitor their side effects, so that she can know what she can do to help make them work up. Luckily, my child's very hard-headed. He did very well. But he took, over the course of a 28-day cycle, he had to have 3 days of intensive chemo. The first day was like 12 hours long. The second day was about 8. The third day was about 4. And then we had to go home for a few days, and then he'd come back and he'd get an elastic shot to help boost his immune system back up from the chemo. Then we got to go back in on day 8 and get another one, but it was real quick. It was like that. You weren't even there long enough to realize you were there. Because you were in there within an hour, you were home. But one of the medications that they gave him on the long days had a tendency to mess with your kidneys and your bladder and make them weak. So they have to give you a second medication that protects your bladder and kidneys from this side effect. Didn't think anything like that until they wrote us the prescription for it. With PEIA, Dr. Conway for that medication is $600 for 10 pills. My child only used 5 or 6 of them. So, good news is, Dr. Johnson, the study group that was awesome. He's clear. We got deals. We got all kinds of deals. You know, I haven't had TMI here. I haven't had a mammogram in 3 years. Because when I go to the office to get it, even though it's supposed to be a preventative measure, and it's supposed to be covered 100%, the last time I went before they would do it, they wanted $150. And that $150 on me right there. My daughter has, I don't know, she's weird stuff. She's got some kind of bone spur or something on her own. She can't wear shoes. I can't take her to the doctor. You can't open her skin and look at it, so you have to have an x-ray. I take her down here to the hospital and have an x-ray. Even though within an 18-month period, my husband has gone through a stroke, my son has gone through cancer, the lady at the admission desk tells me that because my daughter's basically pretty healthy, I haven't met all my out-of-pocket stuff, so they need $287 to x-ray her. That's outrageous. And I told her, tough, all I have is $50 that she can have. And she can have that. And I really didn't get $50 that I could spare, but I did it because I needed to x-ray her. I don't know what's wrong. Well, I get the EOB from PEIA, and that procedure that the hospital wanted me to pay them $287 for right then, her PEIA is only $67. My question is, what the hell's going on here? Why is it not met? If that woman can pull up that my deductible's not met for this kid, why can't she pull up what the crap my actual true cost should be? I mean, you know, this is the kind of stuff where I used to not think twice about taking my children to the doctor if they needed it. Now, I'm like, are you sure you're not? I put off taking my son and he had stage 4. You know, I teach here at Logan, so I have my Logan high family, and I have my main high family, because I dog man too. But I don't know how much longer I can stay in this field, because I don't know how much longer I can afford to stay in this field. I got a master's degree, dumbest decision of my life. Because, yeah, I got a little bit of a pay raise. But crap, you can't tell. Because when my pay raise went up this much, my interest went up this much. I'm in the hole now. I used to be the mother when my children were in elementary school, that if they were doing a field trip, I was the mother who went in and paid for 3 children, even though I had 1 kid in that class. I can't afford to do that anymore. Because now my children are older. I have one that, hallelujah, has graduated college. My child who has had a dramatic year starts his program in July. But my baby's still in high school. I want to be able to feed my children. I should be able to feed my children. I should be able to take them to the doctor. I have never in my life taken anything from the state other than my payday. I have never, and I'm not downing anybody that's had to, but I have never fed my children with WIC. I have never taken food stamps. I have never been on welfare or chips. I took it as a huge insult when the members of the legislature suggested I take my children and sign them up for chips, because by God, that's why I have it. Oh God! Master's level, educated professional, working in my professional field, and not be able to feed my children. That just shows the level of disrespect that our government, and I don't mean just on the state level, sir. I really don't. I mean on the national level. Every blessed thing that goes wrong in society now, they want to blame the teachers. We should make sure these children are fed. We should make sure these children are safe. We should make sure these children are clean. My question is, where's their dang parents? I will do whatever I have to take care of my kids. And I just expect that I should be treated with respect and like the professional that I am. Because I didn't go into this field to take the world's problems on as mine. I went into this field to provide for my family. I've been told in professional development meetings that I need to be these other children's mother. I'm as big to these other children as I can be. But I'm only a mother to 3. Those are the ones I gave birth to. Those are the ones that are my
God-given responsibility. And as far as funding sources, it's not. My job is to come into this school and teach the little darlings, the devils, equally, and do the best job that I can at that. It's y'all's job to run the ship.
Tina, thank you very much for your remarks, and I'm sorry what your family has endured these last couple of years. And if you'd be open, we'd love to talk with you after the meeting. You'd be open to that.
My name is Wendy Barker. I am a service personnel, special needs in pre-K and in Mingo County. And I've been listening. I kind of thought I waited till late to say I wanted to talk because a lot of times it gets things that they say makes me have things I think about. And something I want to say was something that was mentioned about, I don't remember who mentioned it, I think maybe Kathy, something about the Medicaid and Medicare stuff. You know, we live in Mingo County, which is probably one of the most, between us and Wyoming County maybe, or McDowell, the most impoverished county. But yet, we have the most parents and men and women laying at home on the couch, watching TV all day and playing video games, getting a free medical card for them and their child, getting fully funded food stamps. I mean, they get the max can be. And then anything else they can get free. If it can come from the school for free, if it can come from anywhere else, they're giving something out for free, they're there. But yet, we work hard. Not only is our job physically hard, our job is mentally hard. And like she just said, we not only take care of our own children, but we take care of the other 19, 20, 25 that's in our classroom. And those parents expect it. Well, Johnny needs a new pair of shoes. I ain't been able to get a pair of shoes. Well, what do we do as teachers and educators? Go buy a pair of shoes. You know, can we afford it all the time? No. I work 2 jobs, just like I said earlier. I work at the school, I leave my school job, and I work at a pharmacy until 7 o'clock every evening. My day starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, my day ends at 7 o'clock at night. My family comes second. Am I tired? Yes. But I work that job, that second job, because the insurance is so high. And they take all that out of my payday. Well, I need something to compensate for that insurance because I need that insurance. I'm a type 2 diabetic. Yes, have I tried to do with my diabetes? Yes, I have. I've done Weight Watchers. That's something else I wanted to bring up with Terry and him. You know, a lot of the PEIA offers great discounts for places. Or if you go to a gym membership, do we look like we have a gym? I mean, seriously. I mean, we got a city gym in Williamson that says, no, honey, we don't accept that. You're not hardware playing. You know, maybe if they would step up and say, hey, let's get on board with some of these we're in a poverty area. No, we don't have the city gym. We don't have the 24-hour fitness and all this stuff that we can go to all the time. So, you know, that don't help us a bit. I'm glad that they offer that to those people who live in Charleston and Huntington and Morgantown and the bigger cities, but, you know, what is it for us? I wish, though, in some way the legislature, I think, how much money, can I ask you, Mr. Carmichael, gets puts back each year that funds all of our Medicaid recipients?
About $1 billion. Well, I heard somebody say put it to work, which is a great suggestion. In fact, this year the legislature passed, and it's over the objections of the federal government in many ways, work requirements for SNAP benefits. So if you're getting, yeah, we passed that 2 years ago. Drug task welfare recipients. So I think we're doing.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh no,
I mean, I'm just speaking for myself,
well,
but I know some neighbors, and listen, they get it all. Do they get drug tested? I don't know how they pass it. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not working.
That's a good question.
I mean, why can't, and I don't want to take from the babies, good Lord, give the babies the insurance. But I work, like I said, I work in a pharmacy, and I have to pay $50 copay for my insulin. I have one medicine right now that they approve my meter, but won't approve my sensors that goes on my arm to check my meter. Go figure. You know, why would you approve the thing to read it with, but you won't approve the thing to tell what my sugar is? You know, don't take away from the babies, but I feel like if there's some way for the government to step in and do something with the grown adults. My McDonald's is hiring all the time. My Wendy's is hiring all the time. My Taco Bell's hiring all the time. Listen, when you all started talking about combined income, I thought I was going to have to get a third job. And I was going to have to work 7 to 11 somewhere at night. And I said, put them people to work. Take that insurance and help fund our insurance. The working people's insurance. But it can be done. It can be done. It's just figuring out a way to do it. Don't say, I don't want nobody to say I want to take anything for the babies. Dear Lord, no, I'll take anything for my babies. But, you know, when it comes to the grown-ups, get a job. You get a job, I'll give you some insurance. You get a job, you got to keep it for 6 months, I'll give you some insurance. You don't get a job, you don't get no car. Yeah, we don't work, we don't get nothing. That is true, we are enablers. We enable everybody to stay at home. We pay. My tax dollars pay for them to sit at home and play their video games and watch their TV and eat all the good steaks and buy all the good food and smoke their cigarettes while I work my tail off.
And when they need extra money, they get my door in, while I'm at work, and rob me blind.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Your message is received loud and clear. You're right. I couldn't agree more that those who, the working people deserve the benefit of the work that they provide. And so we want to, allow you, enable you to keep more of your money and use it for the services and goods that you want. And for those who are able-bodied, in fact, you might not be aware, in West Virginia, we have the lowest workforce participation rate in America. And for those, and what that says, I mean, we're not just last, we're last by 10 points. So, for those who are able-bodied, now all of us want to help those who are in special needs. And
Absolutely.
you're absolutely right. We do not want to take anything from the children. We need to provide opportunities and incentives and take away the crutch for those who are able-bodied and are not working.
You said the word.
Yeah.
You hit the word. A crutch. They take it as a crutch, and then they're on that crutch for the rest of their life. I mean, when you've got children in your classroom, and when you say, what are you going to do when you get older? Draw a check. That's what my daddy does, and that's what my papa done also. And you're like, but they see that. And
The state senate and these guys we voted 34-0 to do this program, because we see this cycle of poverty, this generational welfare recipients, and so we had an opportunity to provide free community and technical college for those who aspire to that field, because everyone doesn't want to go to college, right? I mean, there are people, you can make great money in welding, electrician, plumbing, HVAC, all those fields. And so we wanted to break that cycle of poverty.
But we have a problem there. The problem with that is offering everybody free technical community college means that there's not enough seats in the technical community college for all the kids around here. So what happens is then we have to live in that school. And that's the problem. We have poverty, yes we do, but we also have a lack of opportunity. And that's what we've got to fix. That's what our job is in the legislation, to bring opportunities to these people. Not blow smoke up people's backsides. We can do better.
Well, that's what we're trying to do with that bill, is to provide the opportunity for people to rise from that state of poverty. So, and you voted for it. You're a very big advocate.
But it would not hit everybody. That's the problem. Is once you raise the criteria of being able to get into the vocational school here at Southern West Virginia Technical Community College, you're talking about, if you got 1,000 kids, and you say 3 technical community colleges, we only got 250 seats, still 750,000 or 750 will be out on the outside.
Well,
and that's a big deal.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and if I would love to deal with the problem that there's too many people that want an education, rather than those who just don't want it. And I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
So,
I mean, I'm like you. I would rather deal with somebody wanting an education than somebody who wants to stay home and sit on the bus. But, and I do want to say something too about something with the doctors. I have found that not only if you go to a doctor in our network, within the PEI network, and say you go and you have a small procedure done or something, well, they have to, anesthesia comes. Guess what? Anesthesia ain't in your network. I'm like, now, how many people would think to ask something like that? Wait a minute, we can't do this. Is anesthesia in my network? Because I could not, I can't see you. I mean, that's craziness. That to me is like, if PEI is going to work and do a network in the state of West Virginia, then they need to work with all the surrounding areas. Just like you say, we live on those bordering counties. Yes, my doctor's at ARH in Williamson, or South Williamson, shall I say. I can throw a rock at it. But yet, they don't want to pay for it. But yet, I would have to miss a whole day of work to travel all the way to Huntington or Charleston to a doctor. So you pick your battles. You pick your battles. So, I really think that was about all I wanted to say. I really wanted to get on the Medicaid situation. Not Medicare, but Medicaid, because I just feel like there's so many things that the state and the government yourself can do, and that would even help with PEIA, because that would free up some money if we would quit doing that in April. When those people that, here, let's go to Mingo County, they got some house support up here, they'll give you a free insurance, food stamp card, and some money to go with it. That's kind of what happens.
I just want to comment on that real quick to let you know. I mean, the Medicaid program is a $1 billion program. So we Medicare, and we cut about $10 million out of our Medicare line item and redirected that for teacher compensation or public employee compensation package. And we did it with the hope that we'll have excess money at the end of the year. That money's all matched by the federal government 3-1. So we struggle with that, but we want to make sure that the money that we're using in those programs is not just enabling, like you said. It's not just providing a crutch. And so that if there are able-bodied people out there that should be working and are just drawing government checks, we want to get those people.
Yeah. And it's going to take going into those DHHR offices and those workers doing fine line background checks, put a limit on the time they have to work before they can get a medical card, or something. Do something of that concern before, because, oh yeah, I'll go to work for 1 month, and then I'll get my card, it's good for 1 year, because that's how it is. It's good for 1 year once you get it. And you have to reapply for it. So, I mean, it would be something really worthwhile to look at and say, what can we do here? And I'm glad to know that you all did do something and so much money came out to help us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a couple more speakers. I want to make sure everybody has a chance to talk. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I wasn't on the list. I thought we made it through.
We're not quite through yet, but go ahead, please.
I'm sorry. Well, my name is Thomas Shute. I'm a teacher in Mingo County, and I'd just like to have a question, an anecdote, and then maybe an issue for you to look at from our perspective. The first one is I'd like to have a clarification on the restructuring of the tiers last year. I heard my call, who works closely with the governor, mention something about the restructuring was the entire problem. That we went from 10 tiers to 3 tiers, which in effect passed on the cost to pretty much everybody who made between $20,000 and $100,000 each, which is, if you work in the school system, the majority of us, if you made less than 20 or more than 100, am I correct in that assumption there?
Pretty much. It would have been a little bit higher tier, maybe probably could have raised 30,000 in your comment, but other than that, you're exactly correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, I would just recommend that maybe we look at restructuring the tiers again, because I think we can all agree that probably wasn't the best way to go about that. And then the anecdote I have here is, more in relation to how much I pay. Typically, when I go to the doctor, I'm fairly healthy. I'll go for a sinus infection, something to that effect. 10 minutes, see the doc, he passes you on with some antibiotics. And honestly, PEIA does a very effective job with that. I usually pay $20 copay, sometimes antibiotics, $5 or $6. As a young person who someday will not be, and I may have some kind of chronic condition, I'd be willing to pay more to offset the cost for somebody else. And we may need to look at some of those avenues. Now, that could be part of our solution. I want to comment briefly on customer service, just because I've had a recent experience with PEIA. And my wife and I both went to a doctor the same day, same doctor. We both had caught some kind of school crud throughout the winter. And we both walked out with a prescription of antibiotics. I paid my $20 copay, no problem. She received a bill, and she's on my same plan for, let's see here, it's $208. I called PEIA within a couple of weeks of receiving this, and I received it. I left a message that said I could call back within 3 days. That's about 2 weeks ago. I'm still waiting. So we could definitely improve on our customer service. And then the issue that I'd like you to think about from our perspective is, I know that the legislature, you're always interested in seeing things from an economic viewpoint. And, really, everything we do as educators comes back to that. A room full of educators here, I think we can all say, if I were to ask everybody to raise their hand if they'd worked with somebody who was not an effective educator, I think we'd all raise their hand. There are just not enough people to fill all the jobs. And as long as that's the case, we're going to continue to have probably a person or 2 or 3 in our building every year. that we all know really should not be there. But at some point, a warm body to supervise children is better than absolutely none. But that should not be the case. And throughout talking to a lot of our legislators this year, a big concern you all have, it seems to be, is making sure that if you're on your job, how can we get rid of these people who are not doing their job? Well, we have a good policy in place for that already. But nobody enforces it because if you get rid of that person, there's nobody to take their place. So I mean, we really need to think through, if we don't offer some kind of competitive benefits package, and that's, part of that would be PEIA, and some of that will be received this year, and hopefully more of that if we can get around the economic hardship we're all facing. That's something we really need to think about, is how that's impacting our students and our schools, because we can't get rid of those people until there's more competition within the education market. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Senator Ojeda.
All right. Thank you all for coming. First off, Joe said at the beginning, I want you guys to look out there and look at these people here. Because I want you to know that these are the best. Now, I know a lot of people say that their area is the best, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to tell you that each and every one of these people right here could go elsewhere and make more money, but they choose to stay in areas like this. People that are from Logan County, people that are from Lincoln County, Wayne County, Mingo County, McDowell County, make no mistake about it, they are here for the children. And they deserve better. When we were talking about free technical community college, that's when I got up and I gave the speech. But the reason why I got up to give the speech is because I asked myself, will our kids be able to compete? And what that young man just said, that teacher, where you at? What he just said is absolutely spot on. Because the truth is if our children are being taught English, math, and science by the assistant to the assistant wrestling coach, they're not going to be ready to compete at the collegiate level. Fact. Our people deserve better. Pay is an issue. 5% was not enough. They've lost 11% with just the cost of inflation. They deserve much better. Teachers, school service personnel. When I retired from the United States Army, I ended up in the classroom for 4 years. I never saw a teacher that did not go out of pocket. I don't think there's one single female in this building right here that doesn't have a special drawer in their desk with feminine items, hygiene items for the women, for the girls. They buy shoes, they buy cleaning supplies, they buy supplies for the classroom. They deserve so much more. As far as the cooks, the decent meals that our kids get in these areas are prepared in these cafeterias. These bus drivers drive and they transport our most prized possession to and from school every day on some of the roughest roads you've ever seen. And I'll tell you, Southern West Virginia does not get treated right when it comes to our roads. And our governor should be ashamed of himself. I think he needs to go to a geography class and realize this is part of his state. But I'm going to tell you, my frustration is I feel like I've been talking to a brick wall. A brick wall. Because I have provided solutions. Senator Carmichael, you can't say that Senator Ojeda doesn't make a lot of noise on that Senate floor. I did not win this job to go up there and sit silent. I went up there to represent one group of people. The group from the 7th Senatorial District, and that's exactly what I do. But I have pushed medical cannabis for 2 years. And I know you've said many times, I agree. But why is it? Why is it that I can't get the Republican support to step up to the plate and do right? We've got the tops of mountains that we could grow medical cannabis on there, and we could use it for our people. We could use that. That's a funding source right there that can absolutely take care of PEIA. That's a fact. And then we talk about the natural gas. I don't care about these companies. I don't care about these corporations. If you want to come to West Virginia and you want to do business, you better do right by the people of West Virginia. We are standing on the richest grounds in the world, and I was in that room when the natural gas guys come in and said, you guys could be the next Saudi Arabia. And what they want is us to be Saudi Arabia, where you got 10 people driving Lamborghinis and the rest of us eating dirt sandwiches. Unacceptable. We've given away our timber. We've given away our coal. We need legislature. We need leaders with backbones that's willing to stand up and say, you're not going to take it anymore. Our people are going to finally benefit from this. And you cannot tell me that if we raise that natural gas service, those people are leaving. Because let them go. Let them go. There'll be 10 to 15 gas companies standing behind them saying, we'll work with you. I don't want to hear they'll go to Ohio because it's not underneath Ohio. I don't want to hear they'll go to Pennsylvania. It's not underneath Pennsylvania. It's underneath West Virginia. And they want it, and they're coming here for it. Let's not give it away. Those are funding sources that we can fully fund PEIA. These people are right now making the decision if they're going to stay and continue teaching in these areas. We have 728 vacancies. The only way we're going to fill those vacancies is to entice people to want to come to West Virginia. We cannot do that by giving them the worst insurance money can buy and giving them the lowest pay that teachers get in America. We've got to do better for our people. This is where we're from. This is our home. We don't want to leave. Many of us have the ability to take our education and go elsewhere and make more money, but we choose to come to places like Logan County, West Virginia, because this is our home. Mingo, it's our home. And we love it and we don't want to leave it. But we also would like to see opportunities so that this could be turned around. Because our areas are dying. And I'll tell you this, if you've got time, I'll stay here. I'll stay here. And when we're done, I'll put all of you all in my vehicle. And I'll take you to places where I saw the kids have it worse than the kids I saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I can take you there in 3 minutes from this spot right here. That's reality. And those kids deserve more. And those kids are only surviving because of the people we have in this room. We've got to do more to take care of these people, to entice these people to stay. And we've got to do something to finally get the people who have left to make the decision, you know what, I'm going home. Because why? Because I love home and because it's a good place to be. These people deserve better. We can give it to them. Let's go ahead and let's get everybody on board with medical cannabis because we know that's a funding source. And let's go ahead and look these companies in the face that want to come to West Virginia and make billions upon billions off of what's underneath our feet. And let's tell them we are going to raise that natural gas savings and we're going to fully fund PEIA and we're going to offer pay raises to our people because it's not right. Doctors, lawyers, ask any one of them, excuse me, sir, ma'am, why do you get paid so much? The first thing they tell you is, well, I have an education background where the level of education I have merits that kind of pay. But yet, in education, you can have a master's plus 60 and still worry about your next meal. That, ladies and gentlemen, is unacceptable, and we have to change that. Everyone.
Thank you, Senator Ojeda. Our next speaker is Senator Stallings.
Not like it's a tough act to follow there, is it? Well, we've certainly heard some compelling stories, and I've been 33 years in Madison, hometown. I've been an old folks doctor over there, geriatrics. And people don't ask me how much money I make so much. They know I went bankrupt and had to be bought by a federally qualified health center. No private practice doctors can make it anymore. And part of it, and again, I'm not going to sit here and moan, but if you look at your explanation of benefits and you're a PEIA person like you all are in here, we bill a level 3 or level 4 office visit, and that's what it is. It's a level 3 or level 4. I don't even know what it is, but that translates into some dollar. And then they send us a check for about 38 cents on that dollar. Not the same as Medicaid, and about 5 cents less than Medicare. So, but that's not what it's about here. Folks, we live in an area that lost 40% of its economy. 40% in about 3 or 4 years. 20-some years ago, when I was chairman of the Corridor G Regional Economic Development Authority Board of Directors, worked with Southern West Virginia Community College right here on campus, and said, listen, we have got to diversify our economy. It's a tough uphill pull. Just like we've got to fix our generational poverty, reliance on Medicaid and welfare. It's a tough pull. It's a tough pull. And there's no easy answers. You know, government, I know, doesn't have a fine-tuning knob. That's what I've learned. That, you know, and on this opioid epidemic, good Lord, devastating. Devastating. And that's why these people are home and you guys are having to do, instead of teach, you're having to be social workers. It's, and so we push in and say, well, we're not going to prescribe much hydrocodone. We prescribed less than half the hydrocodone we prescribed 3 years ago. And yet, overdose rates going through the roof. Because they're doing heroin, carfentanil, and now meth. So there's no fine-tuning knob. There's no easy answer. And I can tell you that the Senate passed a bill to try to help the economy. It says if you're a business and you locate on a post-mine land site, we'll give you a big tax credit for 5 years to encourage this capital investment that we need here on our mountaintop removals and things like that. And went over to the House, never even got reviewed. I got on you, Mitch. I wanted you to get on the speaker over there and get that thing moving. So it's so frustrating. You get something on one side and you can't get it on the other side.
Look at the bright side, the speaker's not coming back.
That is a bright side in my mind for medical cannabis and economic development. So, but you know, we're an unhealthy population, and I see that. And part of it is poverty and the lack of places to exercise. We don't have that YMCA that y'all were talking about, man. We passed bills that you can do joint use agreements with schools so that you can go into the school system. We have a cardiac project that would allow 5th grade kids to get started on healthier steps there, keep their weight down. We didn't fund it. I'm still a squeaky wheel on that, as you know. So we got to pay for prevention. We've cut $800 million in taxes over the past 5 or 7 years. And our coal severance went from about $450 million down to about $160 or $190 million. That's where we find ourselves. And we've cut and cut and cut. I say we've cut too deep. So I know your teachers and school service personnel here, you deserve a lot more. And I know it's affordability. I know we talked about being able to seek care in the region and the hassle factor. It's out-of-pocket cost to you all that matters the most in my mind. And just like higher education, you know, West Virginia's higher education is less than surrounding states. But the ability to pay for higher education is very low, just like your salaries. You know, PEIA might not cost a lot if you look at it with all the other payers, but if you factor in what you make, it's not affordable. And that's the problem. And so, you know, I think we have to find funding streams. I agree with what all's been said here. We also have to do our part. Doctors need to quit ordering. You know, if you've had an MRI, you don't need another MRI a week later, okay? And that stuff costs a lot of money. Technology costs a lot of money. We need to be better doctors. You all need to be better patients where you, look, do I need this test? You know, because that's where we're spending so much money. My co-payment for a head CT scan, because I had some dizzy spells, was $1,800, just a co-pay for an MRI of the brain. And I don't have PEIA, but it was, you know, Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have some heavy lifting to do. And I appreciate what you all do every day in an area that's been devastated economically. And we need some help from the federal government. We need to develop our area economically, because if you look at the economy of a place, and you look at the health of a place, and you look at the education of a place, if you don't have a good education system, you don't have a good healthy population.
you don't have a good economic area, you don't have a good health or education. So they all run together, and we have some heavy lifting to do. We need a funding stream for lots of things. Child Protective Service workers, college graduates, eligible for food stamps, teachers. I mean, you know, so I don't think we can cut our way out of this. I think we have to grow our way out of this. This is an investment right now in good education. And when I see our little schools down here, when they look at their ACT scores, and you compare them to these bigger towns where the economy's better and stuff, our kids are not competing well. So I agree with them. It's not that they're not smart. It's not that there's bad teachers. A lot of it is that there's bad parents. A lot of that. But unless our kids can compete and not have to do all this remedial work, then we're not going to get, you know, we can't go from 49th or 48th to 47th to 46th. We've got to go up to 20 right away. We've got to invest in education. We've got to invest in our health care. I can tell you that if West Virginia lost 1% of its body weight, you'd save $54 million a year. If West Virginia cut its smoking or tobacco use rate by 1%, you'd save $24 million a year. So we've cut the corporate net, we've done away with the business franchise, we've cut personal income tax, cut the food tax, and we cut to the bone, into the bone marrow. We can't keep cutting, we can't cut our way out of this. So I'm hoping for some coal recovery. We want that, but at the same time, we have to diversify our economy here. We have to use our post-mine land use better and get some development up on these places. But I'll tell you what, you are the heart and soul. And you're the big piece of the pie here as far as going to be able to get us to grow our way out of this. And we have to invest in it.
So I think we've worked through the list. Again, I want to thank everyone for coming, and I want to let you know that there is a website. If you go home tonight or tomorrow and you think, oh, there's something else I wanted to share, the website is PEIA Task Force.wb.gov. And you can, there's also a survey on the website that you can take a survey online, and then you can provide comments. And so if you have friends that weren't able to come tonight, please encourage them to go online because we want to make sure their voice is heard as well. So again, we all want to thank you very much for coming, and we hope you have a safe travels home.
I've got